What's going on, everybody? I'm John at Opinion Sports, and today we're going to talk about Kentucky's right tackle, Darian Kinnard. Kinnard is a mammoth type of tackle. I view him as a better fit as a guard. I'd like my tackles to be a bit more athletic. Maybe if he slimmed down and could gain some lateral mobility, I'd view him different. I just don't think that's an option. So I'm going to evaluate him as a guard. And even as a guard, he has some problems with his lateral movement. For that reason, I'm eliminating him as a zone run scheme. In a power run gap scheme, he'd probably be best. He's definitely a body mover and can open up running lanes. Kinnard definitely has some advantages over most other guards. He's got some long ass arms, he's got some big ass hands. That helps to keep defenders out of his body, and it helps him to turn defenders out of gaps. And if offensive linemen can get my body turned, I lose a lot of leverage and drive. You see Kinnard do this quite often. He'll get a defensive lineman turned, and then he can drive them backwards. There's plenty of that on film that you're going to see here. Now, he's got to improve his punch and hand fighting. You see way too much hugging, letting guys into his body. Same thing, if you're a Giants fan, the same stuff we've seen with Matt Perry that he struggled with. But, Kinnard needs to improve his hand placement before really anything. If you don't get your hands inside enough, this is the end result. Kinnard definitely needs to punch sooner as well. He's way too patient. He throws his hands, late way too often. I have hope for Kinnard, though. He's at least shows great balance in his body when he punches. A lot of these big guys, they do lose balance when punching. Not so much with Kinnard. He's pretty good in that area. So it's going to come down to a timing and placement thing with him. Doesn't have great technique at the moment, really not any technique. He's just a big lumbering man out there mauling people. It's definitely entertaining as hell, but in the NFL, that ain't gonna cut it. And it's just not gonna work all the time. His feet are going to need work as well. They are kind of all over the place. And when he's pushing up the line, he's taking way too small steps. I need to see bigger strides that generate more power, because he's capable of it. Just to be honest about it. It's worked for him in college. But the guys in the NFL are way too strong for that baby step bullshit. I do like a lot of what I see when he gets to the next level. He seems to find work. That's always a nice thing to see. He does well on double team blocks and releasing up to grab an extra defender. Now, you don't see much polling last season because he's lined up a tackle, obviously, but I think he could do really well pulling at the guard position. A lot of bigger O-linemen like Kinnard have them balance issues, so Kinnard does end up on the ground a tad bit too much, but his balance is decent for his size. So I don't really have any long-term worries for him. He had other issues like oversetting, but that was at tackle, so I don't think that's an issue at guard. And that experience at tackle should really help him at the next level, and especially with his pass protection. The thing I'm really excited to see is just his run mauling. There might be a period of time to transition to guard. It might be a good idea to slowly work him in. I wouldn't expect great play if he's a starter day one, right off rip. And I'm most excited for him to receive NFL coaching. I think that's going to be great for him. If Kinnard could become a technically sound player, then there's no telling how good he could be with his size, his length, and power. Power rushing against him just isn't a great decision. You might see defenses send extra blitzes and try to use stunts on him, but I like the chances of him becoming a quality O-lineman. If I were a GM, I'd look to grab him somewhere in the middle of the second round. I could live with an early second round if he is just that missing piece on your offense. I do view him as a decent floor prospect. I think at a minimum, you're going to get an average guard in the NFL. His length for the position, though, combined with the size and power, give me a feeling that he could be a relatively high ceiling guy. And his power is noticeable. This is a guy who has tons of knockdown blocks in his career at Kentucky. He'll lay down on you as well. He's not the best pancake blocker guy, like just some of the crazy stuff you see from Iquanu, but you do get glimpses of it. You put him in the phone booth of a guard position, and it could all click for him. If so, watch out, defensive linemen. Again, it will all come to how well he can improve his punch timing and his hand placement. If them two things come together for him, I could see a top 25-20 guard in the NFL. That's the ceiling I could realistically see. I'd still draft prospects like Zion Johnson or Kenyon Green before Kinnard just because of their experience, but he's still a solid draft choice. That's pretty much it for me. There's If there's a prospect you'd like me to scout, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you think of Darian Kinnard. Where do you see him being drafted? Just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching. Please leave me a like. That helps me grow, keeps me motivated. If you're new, subscribe. I got a bunch of prospects still to go. I'm going to be doing these type of videos all the way up to the draft. I hope everybody is warm and healthy. Peace, y'all.